We're good. I'm sorry. We're good.
Good evening. Welcome, Town of Thompson Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. It's Monday, September 12th, 2022. Call the meeting to order. And if I could have a roll call of the members, please.
Kenneth Weiss, Ross Dimick,
Kevin Bino,
Kirby Cuno, Jason St. Ange, Paul Linky,
Jeff Bolte.
thank you. And we'll be seating no alternates tonight as all 5 regular members are present. Number 3 on our list says a public hearing. I don't believe this is actually a public
No,
hearing.
this is not a public hearing.
This is not a public hearing, it's to discuss the public hearing of past. So,
That comes, it's under old business.
but this is not actually a public hearing, is it?
No.
Because it wasn't public, it says here, public
No,
hearing.
that is if you have a
If we
public
have a-
hearing, and then you close the public hearing, then you discuss it in possible action.
Okay.
That's for if you have a public hearing, it's standard,
Standard format.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
that's okay.
Okay, number 5, approval of the regular ZBA minutes from February 14th.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minute. Second.
Kirby made the motion, Jason seconded that motion. Excuse me. We have quite a bit of correspondence here from a lot of the Webster notices, but before I get to that, yeah, the correspondence here is that the regular P and Z meetings of August 22nd were in our memos, but the past are online. And there may be under new business at the end of the meeting, I think maybe we should address getting the minutes, even if we don't have a meeting from the planning and zoning, because I don't think everybody is,
Right.
if it comes in the mail, we're more apt to see it than if we have to
Right.
remember to look up the minutes. So, but anyway, that's for the future.
So to make it clear, want us to send you via mail.
Via mail, even if we don't have a meeting, just state that we're not having a meeting and have the correspondence enclosed with the past minutes of the P and Z meetings, so that at least the members are aware of what's going on.
Okay, so you want correspondence and the minutes from the PNC.
Whether we have a meeting or not.
Correct. But
Okay,
we should take that up under,
okay.
okay, ZEO memo. I guess,
Don't have one.
I was gonna say, because I didn't see one. Okay.
We'll have one next month, if you're having a meeting.
In the package is the budget report. Anybody care to discuss that? Be honest with you, I didn't even look at it. Did anybody look at it? Nobody looked at it.
Budget, no. Or the budget input for year end.
Oh.
It's been, with no expenses.
But yeah,
Since July.
probably a good thing. Thanks, Kirby. There is quite a bit of correspondence here from Webster with their ZBA decisions and their public hearings. I'm not going to go through each individual one. If anybody cares to discuss any of them, feel free. If not, we're going to move on. We had the Federation Planning and Zoning quarterly newsletter that was in there. It's always good reading. And the ZBA minutes are enclosed also from the August 9th, 2021 meeting, which is going to pertain to the conversation tonight about Bates Junkyard.
No, I don't know why that's in there. DBA minutes, August 9th, 2022. I don't know why that's in there. If there was no meeting on August 9th.
Well, what are the minutes? We have a,
21. It says 21.
Oh, it says 21.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
that's when the meeting
That
was.
was in the meeting.
That's when the meeting was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, that is in there and I'm sure that'll be, we're gonna look at that. Any applications received after the agenda was posted?
You have one application, it's for a variance in the side setback. I'll get it.
A coffee for you. Anybody else, everybody got a coffee?
I see you had a survey, John.
You got a coffee?
We're gonna share.
We're
this.
sharing.
Yeah. No,
You got it.
there's a plan that's coming, a site plan that's coming.
Admiring the great artwork.
Well, actually, that's better than the site plan, truthfully. It's an old site plan.
So if I could get a motion to accept the application for a variance? Ken made the motion and
Jeff.
Jeff seconded that motion. All in favor? Motion is granted to accept the variance application. Okay, number 9, old business. This is Bates Auto Parts, and the owner of record is Linehouse Road LLC, care of Maha and Katwa. And the property is located at 64 Linehouse Road. And this is an application that was pursuant for approval to the premises, the operation or maintenance of motor vehicle recycler's yard or motor vehicle recycler's business. Says it was continued from July 12th, 21 ZBA meeting. We're to discuss the conditions recorded in the minutes. And the ZO will periodically inspect the property for compliance and the permit conditions. If cleanup is extended beyond the stated year of August 31st, 2022, property owner will be required to attend a ZBA meeting for future schedule of completion of requirements. For this action, the ZEO requires property owner's permission to enter the property. So, good evening.
Right, talking along 163 Providence Street. Remember that I represent the actual applicant, really, that of auto part. This, you'll recall, came out of a meeting last year.
Do you represent the estate or do you represent them?
So,
You represent both, okay.
this came out of an application last year for reissuing the recycling permit for the Bates Auto Parts. Yeah, for lack of a better word. So as you may recall, last year, there were a large number of people there from the public that did a discussion over issuing that. And we explained that this was really the first step. That in order to continue the business, it was necessary for us to go to the Department of Motor Vehicles. Permit. This was the first step because the Department of Motor Vehicles won't talk to us. So we have the approval of this board. Again, the approval of this board is preliminary in the sense that all you're basically saying this permit is location.
That's not all we're saying. That's not all we're saying, but go ahead.
Well, so legally, the position of this board, first step of the process, is to issue certificate of approval of the location.
According to you.
Well, I think according to the law.
Okay.
I'm not saying that you didn't put conditions on that.
Well, I think that's where I'm kind of going with this. There were conditions and you're implying that our only charge is to issue the permit and it's not.
I'm really not trying to get to the conditions yet at all.
Okay.
Just trying to state the fact that first step, approval from you. Beyond that, can't get anything without approval from you first.
After the conditions are met.
Even, I can't go to the DEP, I can't do anything. You can't do anything have approval.
Mhm.
That's just the way the law works. Last year, when this was granted, Mr. Bastos actually began to do some of the work that we talked about immediately. About 400 tires from the location. They started doing cleanup. Same time that they did that, they contacted motor vehicle department, told them what had happened here, where we stood, and that we wanted to have permit issues so that we could do it. Motor vehicle told us stop doing anything, so we have approval from them. Motor vehicle, so we don't, it's fine, that the board gave that approval. Got to get approval from us before you can get any stop right away. So we stopped.
You stopped doing what? What work was done on the site?
They removed several, about 400 tires.
Yeah?
Started cleaning up the site, started compartmentalizing.
Carlos Bastos, 77 Soap Street, Mayville, Connecticut. And somebody can attest to it if she's walked the site. I actually went in and I gathered all the drums of oil. I grabbed about 8 drums of oil that were 55-gallon drums of oil that were down at the bottom of the property. And I gathered them, I put them all pretty much in one big pile. I spent about a week there on the property, between it was me, my father, and 2 other guys at the same time that, so I spent some money, a couple guys helping me out, gathered all the major things from DEP was the tires and the oil, which was similar to the zoning board. So I gathered everything, I started disposing of the tires. People that dispose of tires for me is Country Tire out of Danielson. I do a lot of business with them through other businesses, and so they were actually disposing it for me free of charge. They could only do so much, you know, they're doing about 50 tires a day. And then after we gathered kind of everything up, I got quotes from Safety Clean to drain all the oil. I got quotes to, you know, kind of speed up the process and remove all the tires at once, just to kind of speed up the process. As already mentioned, it was a preliminary thing here. Then we have to go to DEP, then we have to go to DMV. DMV told us basically not to touch the site because we don't have permission. We might have permission from the town to, you know, but we don't have permission to do that kind of business from the DMV, which is basically, in a sense, scrap, not necessarily just vehicles, but scrap in general. So they basically told us that we can't do it. We don't want to be liable for anything until we can get a permit. Once I get a permit and everything is transferred to my name, then it's, you know.
Have you transferred it to your name yet?
No, it hasn't been.
Why is that?
Part of the application process, the Department of Vehicles, Department of Motor Vehicles now has a requirement that goes to DEP has a requirement now that we do stormwater drainage.
We've got a stormwater management plan, which actually, I had an engineer go out in November of last year. I showed Cindy the receipt that they actually just sent in the mail, not the receipt, bill, just the preliminary viewing of the site. And so he's a gentleman that actually does about 70% of the scrap yards in the state of Connecticut, has asked, he's on vacation, he's coming back next week. So that would be the second step after the town, would be the DEP. In order for DEP to even discuss anything with me about the site, they're requesting the stormwater management plan, which would be the quote unquote the second step. Then the third step is Then, once I have the stormwater management plan, DEP gives me a quote unquote approval. And then that's when I can apply for the license through the state, through the DMV. So in order to, I've spoken to the engineer, once he gets back on vacation, he already gave me a quote to go and do the stormwater management. Now, that does not mean that I have to have it ready and in place in order for the state to, or for DEP to issue me the permit. DEP issues me one permit, and then the state issues me the recycler's permit. But they do have a period where they'll come out and inspect it, which they'll give me a time frame. Which they, to me, from my understanding, was about 6 months. Once we do the stormwater management plan. Pretty standard plan, I guess, for industrial uses. Is what we fall under. And just talked to almost an engineer that didn't know what,
Where we stand essentially is technically speaking, the state is the owner of the LLC. Where we stand is the estate is trying to get permitting necessary from, and he also required what we need to do is, once we get the preliminary report back from the management plan, at that point, we would submit our application together with that and the certificate of compliance or approval of the site and use. At that point, more vehicle department will review our application. We've been sort of going back and forth with various state entities for years, literally. In fact, the property is also part of a foreclosure action. Period. Pending some time, on behalf of the state, we actually had a settlement contract with Superior Court judge. And he frankly offered, which I appreciated, he's a retired former attorney general, in the attorney general's office. Gave me a couple of additional names at the so I can move the process along. And we've gotten a little bit of, it's not intentional, but the new people bluntly are a little uncomfortable with kind of having to go through the flow of people. But again, that's the reason for the delay.
Kevin, can I ask you? We did give them permission that they could start their cleanup, right? Is that what we did? So why would the DMV tell you that you can't go there and start the process? It's not their realm to say that you can't get involved in the EPA products. You should have probably just went to EPA first and worked with them. And then to listen to say, well, because of new people working there, whatever it is, I don't believe it's that what you just said. I think that is that the ball fell apart somewhere in the middle there. You should have reviewed to what you were gonna do. You should have said, look, we're gonna do the cleanup here. Let's go to EPA first and find out what their standards are. You could have probably have gone and done all the work you wanted over there. Had nothing to do with the DMV. You're not looking for a license to operate a junkyard. All you're looking is to clean the place up. And that's all it was. And for them to say that you can't do that, I don't see that. I don't believe that they had the right to do that.
So
Well, no, I mean.
But they don't own it yet. That's the whole issue.
Well, it's in the process of being cleaned up. You know, well, I mean,
I wanna be in there and I wanna get the place operating.
well, I would like to see you do it too.
So you know what to do, yeah.
But you know, it's like you're jumping through hoops to get stuff done. And as far as DMV was concerned, or anybody else, they should have said, hey, let's contact the town and see what's going on over here. Let's get this mess cleaned up over here.
Can I clarify something? I think they're asking for us to give them relief. I think that's what they're asking. They haven't actually said that, but you're looking for relief of some kind. Am I correct?
Well, actually, we weren't looking for anything specific until just recently we found out that there was a petition attached to the original permit that all of the taxes were.
Correct.
So we're obviously not in a position to, I don't remember what the exact amount of the tax.
46,000,
50,000.
about 46,000, I'll actually make that 47.
Yeah, Kevin, can I make a comment on that? as
Sure,
far as the
absolutely.
Taxes? And I know it's true that people don't pay their taxes. We have people that are business, that have property in this town that haven't paid their taxes, that own businesses haven't paid the taxes, owned it for 3 years. And I can understand you want to get all the money at one time. And what you usually do is, when it comes to a time like that with, for the money that they're owed, tax collector contacts the first selectman, they get the person involved, and what they do is they work out a payment plan to pay so much money through the course of a month till it's paid off. So it's not,
But they don't own it.
And they didn't set the conditions.
It's immaterial to
We
the.
set the conditions.
That-
It's already been done.
I know I understand that, but the proper way to do that, even whether they own it or not, because we have people that that have property in this town.
Well,
In fact-
I think this all started because they were trying to get a waiver from the taxes.
No,
That's how
no,
this all
no,
started.
No, I think they wanted to pay the taxes, but the $50,000 or 46,000 was.
Not what I remember.
But the thing with that is, I know, you know, people that I know that we've gone out, we've gone and said, okay, look, you owe the town $30,000. Well, I can't pay that. So then you put them on a payment plan and they have to pay so much every month until it's paid off. I think, and it's not to say nobody can't pay the taxes for somebody else, because I know property right down in Quinnebog that other people have been paying the taxes for the past 10 years, and it's not even their property.
If I may say, we once requested, the taxes be waived or anything with the tax department. Actually, I don't know if it's in the minutes or not, but when I came in the first time around, I actually mentioned that I had gone up and I spoke to the tax department before even coming to the ZBA
Right.
to see if, what could be done or what was the amount owed and everything. And they tell me that in the special circumstances, they would most likely be willing to, they would talk to the first selectman, they would waive the penalties and interest, and I would pay in one lump sum once everything is cleared up. And I had spoken to them about that.
That was not in the minutes.
But
That was never brought up.
That was never brought up in that way ever.
Well, I did talk to the tax department prior to coming. To
But
the ZBA.
that set of circumstances was not discussed in any way.
Okay, correct. That wasn't discussed, but you know, I mean.
Wasn't discussed amongst you guys.
Yeah, that's correct. Wasn't
And
discussed.
it wasn't
right
brought
away.
up, we brought it up and he never said that was the request. Just that they had talked to the tax office
Yeah.
about trying to not pay them.
Well, ultimately, the only reason why this is even coming up is because last week I had spoken to, or 2 weeks ago, maybe last week, 2 weeks ago, I actually spoke to the engineer to get the stormwater management plan done, which would have gotten me the stormwater management permit. And then the only other permit that I needed was the town approval for the site, which then I went to go fill out the application. And I actually came over to Cindy's office and I said, Cindy, I'm finally like getting somewhere, the ball's rolling. This is what I need from you in order for me to apply for the permit for, with the state. And she came back and she said, okay, I can get that to you. And then a couple of days later, she called me, she came over to the dealership and then she mentioned to me, hey, these conditions, I went to the tax department, this was part of the condition. I went to the tax department and they said this wasn't,
Which this is only one of a
Correct,
lot of stipulations
correct.
that you're focusing on the taxes when,
No,
I mean,
no,
We're
because,
focusing on the taxes. but we Can't get the permit without addressing that.
Can I ask Ernie a question?
sure, go ahead.
Be the one that- So actually, you would be the one signing the print, and I'd be writing it out. So when you said before, that the motor vehicle department will not give you a permit until they receive a permit from here. Does that mean what they're going to give you is a permit to do the work? And then come back with, okay, now you have your license? Because,
The short answer is that I don't know.
okay,
Because ordinarily, the DBAs don't put conditions on these. So. I think
Well,
ordinarily what would happen-
I would like to stop you for a second. Because the letter that we got back, the last correspondence from the attorney says that even if the condition outside the authority of ZBA, it remains in place until appealed by ZBA removes it on its own. I want to go further down here, just move along. In many instances, there also would have been a site plan, special permit approval for actual use under zoning. But it looks like that didn't happen and the ZBA added the conditions. If you'd gone to the P and Z, they would have had you do a site plan, probably
We may very
as
well
much
have
or
to-
more than what we
we
requested
may
you
very
do.
well have to go to the- This is the first step, not the last step. All I'm saying,
Yep.
and I'm not trying to argue with you, all I'm saying is that ordinarily,
What is it? You're asking for us to give you a permit though, correct?
I'm trying to answer, this question. What I'm saying is that ordinarily, DBAs don't attach conditions to these particular permits.
But in this case, they did.
So what happens ordinarily, not in this case, but ordinarily, you go to the motor vehicle department. Motor vehicle department would have just straight certificate of approval. They would do their thing. They'll contact.
But these are special circumstances.
But can you let me finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
So ordinarily, what would happen is DEEP would get involved, motor vehicles would get involved. Motor vehicles would issue a permit, but it would be preliminary. So ordinarily, it would be, we're gonna give you the permit, but it's conditioned on us coming out, DEEP coming out, and going through all of these permitting conditions based on an inspection of the property. Now, in this case, what you've done is you put conditions on that I think frankly are gonna be almost identical to what motor vehicle.
Yeah,
would
almost.
issue.
And just to interrupt a little bit, I'm sorry, but it almost is. And what I'm trying to pull up here on my phone is actually, in order for me to even apply for the license, there are some conditions that need to be met, and one of the conditions is a site plan. So I do need to do a site plan, and ultimately, all I've been trying to do is trying to keep the costs down
Sure.
until I can get a
I
permit.
understand that.
Because everything, it's literally, it's money out the window if I don't get a recycler's permit, right? It's whatever I do, the town doesn't ultimately, and quite frankly, the ZBA doesn't could care less if I get a permit or not, if I clean up the site, correct? If I do the
I think,
cleanup,
I think, I
no
think,
one would go out of their way to quote unquote, not saying that you guys wouldn't try to help in any way, but no one really is gonna go out of their
I
way
think,
to
I
help
think,
us
I'm
out.
not speaking for any other members on the board, but I think we're trying to right a situation that was very wrong
Correct.
for the area for a long time.
Yeah,
And that's why we put these protections in place, not to penalize you, but to correct what has been done over there over the last 30 or 40
Correct, but-
years. And to make
Yeah.
sure that all these safeguards that were in place before didn't do diddly squat to stop it.
And I agree with you. And I agree with you 100%, okay? And if those conditions were kept up with and things were done, okay, for example, if people were on top of Fred to pay and to do X, Y, Z, he would have had to have done it. Otherwise, he could have been shut down prior to this. And nothing was ever done. And quite frankly, the way it was, the way he was living his life, I don't know if he had friends inside the town hall or whatever it is, but the fact that, he brought up taxes. someone's house goes up for tax sale that owes $1,000, and there's houses that are Fred's houses, for example, the two houses, they owe 30-something thousand dollars. So he's been screwing underneath the rug for a long time.
Can I just, what you just said, like a house owes taxes for $1,000. There's a difference when a house goes for a tax sale versus the person that owns it to come in and wants relief because they don't have the money to pay the taxes. And then you put them on a payment plan. That's two different things. I know that's happened. I happened over there before and whatever, and it's happened a lot in this town.
And I've actually shown some sort of product. I actually bought both houses from the tax sale.
But when you
If you
pay,
guys are not aware.
but when you,
Yeah,
but
I-
But
Okay.
when you buy that in a tax sale, you have to take and you have to put the money down and then you purchase that property and that actually the people that own that have the right to take and pay them taxes off and you get your money back because they can
Right.
keep that. 'Cause they're
So
gonna
many
use-
days.
It goes for 6 months, 6
And
months.
it expires in November, I think November
That's
26th.
correct.
So I bought the houses, and to
Yep.
me, the houses are completely worthless if I can't get this place operational. So, I mean, if I can't get this place operational, the only option that I have is basically to rehab the houses and sell them and get whatever money I can out of it. So I have, but the difference between the money that I paid for the houses and the scrapyard is that at the end of the day, I have a property, I have a lot that has a house on it. Who knows what's gonna happen with this housing market, but I have some sort of security, even if I break even on them. I don't care. The only interest that I had on doing the houses is because of the scrapyard. I have no interest on the houses other than that. So I am doing everything that I can. And if I mean, I'm looking for it here, but for example, one of the requirements for me to apply for the license is a site plan. Another requirement that was also a contingency of the ZBA is the 8-foot fence, which is also a requirement by DMV. So the way it would work, the whole reason why I need to send in my application, and the other thing that we're trying to do is we're trying, Ernie's talking to the judge in order to see if we can actually make this application under my name, which I would prefer, because.
Well, that was one of the conditions, that this was under your name.
Yeah, before he goes any further, can I finish asking Ernie my questions about the DMV? So we might be able to just solve this quickly.
Yeah.
So Ernie, when I asked you that question, and you said now the DMV does a preliminary application, do I have to sign off on that preliminary application, or do I sign off on the final license application?
I think the short answer is.
On both,
because of the-
and they're gonna have conditions, and
because of the
we
fact
have
that you do
conditions.
conditions.
right?
it's
So-
different.
So if I sign off on the first one, that doesn't mean that they can walk in there the next day and start a recycling business. The only way they can start that recycling business, if I sign off on the final motor vehicle department license, right? He comes in and says, yes, the CEO. So I do not sign off on that one until all our conditions are met.
So I presume what you would give is, you give, okay, to the site itself.
Right, and then I would probably attach
Attach the
this.
conditions.
And then when he comes in for the final, the motor vehicle says, okay, I have my license now to start my recycling. And now I need you to say everything is A-okay. And then that's when I look and look, did you do X, Y, and Z? Everything's A-okay, and you sign off.
That's ultimately what we're looking for.
Well, that's what I've been trying to get to, is what are you asking for?
Even if it's got the conditions, but I need the letter of approval in order for me. to
Well, I don't
apply.
think anybody's opposed to giving you a letter based on those conditions.
So you want a
it
letter
was,
of
actually.
approval, or you want
I'm
the
sorry?
certificate of approval is
Well,
the
it
exact.
was.
I mean, I don't want to speak for the other members.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I copied and I pasted what I sent to you. And that's exactly what was requested from me from the DMV.
There's a difference between a letter of approval of the meeting last year. And that letter of approval will say, here are your conditions before you receive the certificate of approval, which is a formal certificate which the chairman signs off on And then in turn, when I got the motor vehicle license, I would sign off on that if all the conditions are met.
So sure,
But that-
because I don't know the answer to whether or not you would accept your original sign off or not.
My original letter, well, what if the chairman signs it?
I assume they would accept it, yeah.
Okay.
So just to clarify this, what exactly are you looking for, you guys are looking for? Just to simplify it for us all.
Right.
That's what we need to know.
That's what we're trying to get to the bottom of.
We'll work, we're willing to work with you. We just gotta know what it is.
We actually thought that we were sort of coming here based on.
Do you want an extension on the time?
We're looking for an extension.
That's exactly, that's right, that's the application itself. So this is what the part from the back is.
So the conditions, we get it, the conditions are the same in the town and in the state. So that'll be covered, but we're just trying to still figure out what you guys want from us. So-
Yeah, in order for us to apply for the, ultimately, everything just came up, like I said, because I went to go fill out the application, I went to Ernie's office, I said, Ernie, are we gonna be able to do this under my name, or are you gonna have to do it under the estate name, and we're gonna have to transfer it to my name? And here's everything that I've gathered. I had to physically drive out to DEP several times because they would never get back to you. A lot of people are still working from home. And the application is asking for a,
Asking for a certificate of approval for the proposed location.
that's what it's asking for. Without that, I can't apply.
That means that final piece of paper, but on that, I would put the condition,
Correct.
and then Ken would sign, I mean, Kevin would
So
sign it.
that's what you need from us is
Correct.
an application with the conditions limited
Yeah,
on it.
it can have conditions on it. I believe DMV will accept that with conditions, but they will not accept a letter saying that it was approved. They want a certificate of approval. Even if it's got the conditions, I believe they will accept that. I am not them, I cannot speak for them, and you guys, I'm sure you guys have gone to DMV and you guys know how difficult sometimes it can be. So I have the application, if you'd like, I can email it to you guys, but on the application here, I do need a site drawing, I need fencing, sales tax permit, insurance certificate, and so this is all the things that I need in order to even make the application.
Go ahead, Kurt.
Back to the beginning, or back to my thoughts. How can you get an application to run the yard if you don't own the property? How can you own the property if you don't pay the back taxes on it? That's, where are we with that? How's it gonna give you a license? You don't have, you
State
don't
of
own it?
Connecticut's not gonna permit you with anything if you don't have property ownership. I don't see how they would do that unless you.
I know you're dealing with both sides of the state and with him, but I don't understand how.
That's why we're,
So
that's why
you have to
we're,
buy it first.
what?
You have to buy the property first or own the property first before you can get any permits.
But there's also the issue with the estate and the court. So.
Well,
the-
don't you think that maybe we're running a little faster than like you said, I mean, you don't have all these things in place, but yet you want us to give you the permits and approvals. And you guys stated that you would have this done in a year ago.
No, that's not correct.
It says it right in the minutes.
It says-
That
yeah,
Mr.
what-
Cuttenwall said that
So-
he hoped to have this done within a year, and he set most of the parameters.
No,
Most of them.
actually, you're right. It does say within a year, but it also says, I suspect that I'll get everything done within a year once I have a permit. That's literally what it says in the minutes, because I went back and I read through them.
Yeah.
And has not changed at all. Once I have
They
the
told me
permit-
couldn't do it anymore.
They stop you.
Basically the first week that I started working there, because I started gathering everything and then I spoke to Ernie about it. And Ernie said, all right, well, let me contact everybody, make sure that, we're gonna be okay. We're not gonna get into any other trouble. And then he spoke to the necessary parties and said, you can't do anything until you get this permit or until you X, Y, Z. And the whole reason why we're trying to submit the application is once we submit the application and DMV comes out and inspects the site, they're gonna have their own conditions as well. So the whole point of doing everything, of getting these other things is so DMV can say, okay, now you need X, Y, Z. because once DMV says you need X, Y, Z, then I am certain that they're gonna provide me with the license. But until I can even submit an application, they won't talk to me, they won't do anything with me.
Well, I think we've clarified that we would be more than willing to give you that signature based on the conditions.
Yeah, I mean, if you-
So that's not, that's,
all- That's all, but
The whole point,
We can't
the
give
whole
them-
point of
we
the
can't give
thing
them a-
was, you're not
we
gonna
can't do
get a
anything to
permit
them until they own
until
it.
you got the property cleaned up. You can't clean up the property until you own the property. You're in a,
Well,
such
the
a
DMV is not-
quagmire here, it's crazy.
They have to permit us, is what he's saying.
Well, we're not gonna give them a permit for something they don't own.
DMV will allow us. to have the site,
Right.
even without a permit.
what is the,
Without our
No.
approval.
So
Yeah.
without-
Now, why didn't you come back to us when they told you to stop? When was the time frame they told you to stop? When did you start cleaning up?
We started cleaning up, then like,
We came back to you because we thought we.
Well, no, I get that part, but I'm just wondering, if we gave you the approval in August 2021, when did you start cleaning up?
okay, so we started immediately after.
So shortly after, but when
Correct.
DMV told you to stop,
DMV told
why
us to
didn't you
stop. We
come
also-
back to us to try and get,
Because we've been dealing with DMV.
no, I get that.
Well,
but-
we've also been dealing
We
with
didn't know we needed
DEP.
anything else. We
We-
didn't know
I-
we needed it.
I've also been dealing with DEP, but I can show you emails
No,
back and.
I'm
forth.
not, that's
You
not
know,
the
so-
concern, it was more because you told us that you need the certificate of approval from us.
Correct.
When did you figure that out? Why did it take a year to
Like-
figure that out?
Because we've been dealing with the DEP.
Right.
DMV, just recently, literally within the last month or so. Breakthrough. if you will.
Okay,
And the person who
I-
kept
yeah,
us
with-
working on
with-
both involved and we.
Within 2 weeks. is when
back,
we-
back to the
is when we
ownership
got-
question. Why has that not been transferred?
It's currently owned by the estate.
correct.
We understand that.
So as we indicated last time, the estate is solvent. Last, this is the issue. Permit can issue, the type of permit can issue, then the state is gonna be solvent in the sense that by that asset.
Makes the property worth a hell of a lot more if you can put a junkyard on it than if you can't.
Yes, if you can.
Yeah, I get it.
It's probably
I get
worth
it.
negative now.
I
It's
get
already
it.
in the hole for almost 50 grand in taxes, so it's not worth zero, you know, the negative amounts already.
I can't imagine it's very easy to get a recycler's license anywhere in the state, so I would imagine it has quite a bit of value to it.
My question is, okay, what do you actually want from us today? What do you want us to do today that's gonna help you? What's the bottom line of what we're trying to accomplish? here?
One, we would like an extension, obviously. Like I said, like I already mentioned, within the past 2 weeks is probably about when we had the breakthrough. As soon as I got through the DEP, I came straight to Cindy, literally within a day. Within 24 hours, I came to Cindy's office. She was out, I sent her an email that day requesting her, you know, saying, hey, Cindy, this is what I need. So one, we would like an extension, and secondly, we would like a certificate of approval, even if it has the conditions and the certificate. of approval. I'm
Can
okay with that.
I back up for 1 second? So you can't transfer the property to Mr. Bastos because he's not willing to buy it until he has a certificate of approval. Is that what I heard?
I will buy confidence that.
So you want us to issue, I guess
You can still have the conditions. When will they be met, I guess is my question.
How long of an extension?
right, how long
I
are
mean,
we gonna
that's-
go on?
So I mean, the whole plan, and you can see from my application and from the minutes, I've always requested 1 year once the quote unquote the issue was permit. What the permit was issued. So once DMV gives me the letter of approval, basically saying, okay, you will get this recycler's permit, this is what you need to do, X, Y, Z, then I need 1 year from that date. That has always been, that's what I've said the entire time coming through here.
You still have to go through DEP
And-
they'll tell you what you've gotta do.
So
So that could take 5 years.
No,
You know?
no, so that's
No?
that's the whole thing.
Okay.
And that's what was taking so long with DEP. One, no one's taking. Basically, they're not taking walk-ins. I literally had to like go to the Hartford office and like argue with someone to be able to talk to someone. The people that I did talk to were actually pretty helpful. And they actually put me in the right steps to get this ball rolling. That was about 2 weeks ago. And the first step in order to get the ball rolling with DEP is get the stormwater management plan. In addition to, no one really knows how to deal with scrap yards in the DEP. It's something, you know, that it's only higher up that deal with it. And no one really wants to sign off on something that they're not sure. Okay, but they did tell me that the first step, I was able to talk to someone that's actually done a couple of these with the DMV involved. And she told me that the absolute thing that I would need is a stormwater management plan. And once I get that, they would give me the certificate of approval from the DEP. I didn't have to clean up the site. I didn't have to do anything. But they would give me the certificate of approval to apply for the license with the DMV. That's exactly what I needed. That's what I've spoken to an engineer about. He's supposed to be coming in by the end of the month to actually do a stormwater management plan for the property.
So Cindy, can we give them a permit with the conditions listed on it? We can.
Yeah, I always do.
I thought we did that already.
If that's all it is, yes. But like, I think the other thing is, we were told a year, and we'd like to hear from you what your timetable is going forward.
Stuck.
I mean, that seems reasonable. I
It
mean,
does,
this
the
a
only
learning
thing
curve
is
for all of
nothing,
us.
nothing has really, from my standpoint, visibly changed over there. I mean, has any of the wells been tested? Any of the conditions we asked for been met? Any of them? I don't think so.
Well,
No, because people come, you know, work there, they go, it's not work.
Yeah.
so and also just so you guys have some sort of time frame. DEP told me once I do a stormwater management plan and they issue me a permit, that's 90 days from when that's applied. So as soon as the engineer comes out and does it, they would be able to give me a certificate of approval basically within 90 days of the.
To start putting that plan in place, not to operate the yard, to start to dig holes and put in your 100-year freaking floodplain
So
pit and all that stuff that goes with it.
correct,
Yeah.
correct. So there would be a 90-day to issue me the permit to do X, Y, Z. So once I have the permit issued, then I can actually start, you know,
Doing something.
doing something. So I can't, basically, what I'm saying is, even with, and they said it's up to 90 days, anywhere from 30 to 90, what they mentioned to me. So even if we get an approval here today, it's gonna take me roughly 30 days to even get an approval at the very least.
I think you could have got that letter from Cindy anyhow. I don't think you needed us to.
Well, we called them
Well, I
here.
wouldn't do it unless you
Right.
guys tell me. to
Because it
do
was a 1 year.
1 year, yeah,
It's a
right. But as
1
far,
year
as far as asking for the letter of approval with the conditions, I mean,
think
that's a matter of
We've
fact.
already talked this out, we know the
Yeah.
conditions, as long as they're still attached to that permit, I don't see a problem at all.
I don't need.
And a 1-year extension seems reasonable to me, for how slow the state works.
And it has been everything, in all honesty. And the other thing, just so you guys are aware, EMV dealers and repairs unit, that deals with these licenses, since COVID, since March of 2020, they have been completely shut down from the public. They will not pick up any phone calls. I can give you a phone number, and they will not pick up any phone calls. Everything that they do is through email. They will.
Is Weathersfield open or closed? Can you get in there?
To dealers are completely closed. They've been closed since March.
Dealers and
No one's allowed in the building other than customers to register cars since March of 2020. And I'm not, like, trust me, I've tried to schedule an appointment even as a customer to go in and it's a different building. I've tried scheduling an appointment. We do online registrations to my dealership. I tried scheduling an appointment. I can schedule an appointment for online registrations, but not through dealers. They will not accept anyone. So it's just been like, it's so difficult to deal anything with them unless you have.
I think we all.
I think
Yeah.
the board's in agreement that, that we would give you an extension of 1 year and that Cindy would give you a letter saying that you would be accepted to that site based on the conditions and maybe,
Well, no, we got a
Certificate that she does.
you got a certificate with conditions and, maybe a copy of our minutes along with.
Yeah.
That
and all the
certificate.
conditions in it, but I'll
Is that a
put a copy of
motion?
the minutes in it with it too.
Was that?
Is that a motion?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Before you actually vote, I don't know if you want to reconsider the tax issue now.
Well, isn't that one of the conditions, would that be established with,
The only thing I would request for the taxes is, allow me to talk to them to come up with some sort of plan to get the ball rolling as well.
We can't make that decision without another public hearing.
Well, I guess, in the sense, let's just get these certificate of approval, let's apply with the state, let's see where we go with the state, and then we'll, once we have the ball rolling and stuff.
You're gonna have to get that before you.
Yeah,
get
yeah, there's no
turned
sense in us
over
having
to
another
your
public
name.
hearing without, the ball's not rolling anyway. So I'd like to get.
I mean, certainly if we see good faith, I don't think the members would be opposed to revisiting that issue. But we certainly want to see some good faith and some movement.
Yeah, no,
It's been a year and, you know, it just,
yeah, we all understand the state, how they.
yeah, I have spent money, I have spent money on the site. Getting things done, I have spent money with engineers, just so you guys are aware, it's not like I'm doing absolutely nothing, just sitting around waiting for a response back. I've driven out to DEP 10 times. So I am in, it's just, you guys know, everybody gets busy and I do something and then like nothing happens and I wait, I'll get back to you within 5 business days. Wait 5 business days, give them a day or two, and then you come back and then, hey, all right, now I need to go back again. And it's just been a horrendous experience dealing with DEP and the DMV together at the same time, and not that many people at the DEP know the process. DMV literally has changed the application from when we first started applying for this 2 years ago, and so that's also another reason why it's become so difficult to wait.
okay, I'm gonna try this again. I make a motion that we give them a 1 year extension to complete the DEP and other,
It's not a public hearing, we're not voting on anything.
all the members, don't we have to approve it? As a group?
No, they wanted to talk, and I said, it's not a public hearing, so we don't have a,
I'm sorry?
they were asking to talk, but it's not a public hearing for them.
Oh, yeah, well, you can speak after, in the, citizens' comments.
We don't have that in these meetings.
But you can grant it, I think.
I'm gonna grant you the right to speak. Could you please state your name, please?
I have one question. I know they got the barrels there. There's no fence around them. People can just go in, push them over, go into the ground. My concern is, why is it in the open? Why don't they have it contained?
Why haven't they
A
secured the
fence
property?
around, right?
Because they can't. Because they can't.
I mean, every week, people are dumping stuff out there. I don't know if anybody's been by there, but it's.
You think they'd stop you?
Wouldn't buy it Saturday.
Yeah, trust me, that's been the whole reason. It's every day that goes by, it's getting more and more expensive for me to do. I want to get this done yesterday. And I've gone out, I pulled some tires from the front, I pulled all the way in the front and from the back, and I put it in the front, so that way people can't drive in there. There's 30-yard dumpsters that got dropped off in there. Literally, like, one, for example, is a roof.
I see it.
Someone redid their roof, and it's not, that was never there. So it's becoming more and more expensive every single day. Trust me, I want to get this done as quickly as I can.
I think the town does too.
Yeah, so I think to get the ball rolling, Cindy, we need to approve this right, and give him that certificate of approval, he can go to the state.
Okay, so I'll make the motion that we extend their cleanup for 1 year. And that we authorize the CEO to give them a certificate. Showing the conditions that it's contingent on the conditions be followed for the actual final certificate is granted.
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
I second that.
Kenny seconds it. All in favor of the motion?
All right.
I so granted. Okay,
All right, thank you, guys.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Drop it off and we'll send you registered mail.
How's luck again? Didn't need you here at all.
See him in a year.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing's gonna happen in a year. Are you shitting me?
It's if I can
I've
find
been
my,
living in North Carolina in
No.
20 years before anything
No, I
happens
will.
over there.
That one. My signature.
I got chicken barbecue coming up the 1st of October, so I'll be coming to visit you.
then some other things, yeah.
It's such a rock and a hard door.
Chicken soup.
We just know that that final motor vehicle license does not get signed. until- Oh. Yeah.
Okay, so let's continue our meeting here. You guys got that all straightened out? Okay.
I'll be in Wednesday, just send it.
Under new business, Mr. Alvin Hill dropped off some zoning regs that he compiled for all of us.
Oh, that's nice.
That was nice. Kirby,
The state statute.
this is Thompson regulations.
Updates or?
You want us to beat him?
No, you can read them at home on the toilet. Yeah, we want to thank Alvin for publishing that. There you go.
This the same thing again?
Yeah. Oh, only you got a binder.
Oh, I get a binder. Oh, I get it. Oh,
I got a
I get it.
binder at home.
Oh, I get a binder.
Transfer.
I just got one 6 months ago. You got one more copy of that?
Now, this is the state statute that he compiled that deal with zoning regulations.
So
So
it's
that-
not new.
No, this is
No.
nothing, to do- this is not the town of Thompson zoning regulations.
Oh.
These are state statutes that deals with municipal regulations, wetlands regulations, but ZBA regulations.
So we have to adhere to that.
So whenever I have
I
a
have that
question, this is the
that
book
would
I
be the
go to. Oh, that's the section I go to, state statute.
I
You will be getting a new zoning book after our next public hearing for zoning review.
Before I ask for adjournment of the meeting, I'd just like to clarify with Gloria that we would, regardless if there's a meeting or not, that we would still get the minutes from the P and Z and any ZEO memorandum or updates that she has, regardless if we have a meeting or not.
That's a great idea. I kept on wondering what was happening to those papers that were in your little pocket there in the office. They were piling
I
up.
tried to go online and read sometimes, but you don't always remember that the meetings have gone by. Okay, any,
I make a motion with adjourn.
Ask Cynthia a question.
go ahead, Paul.
You were at the planning and zoning meeting August 22nd, 2022.
Yes, I was.
And it was under old business, was a review of those West Thompson gravel operation, approval of conditions.
Yes.
Who is the gravel operation? Where is it in West Thompson Road? Is it closer to Route 12 or is it closer to the Putnam side?
It's behind the house there, that nice house.
Waldron's?
Yeah.
Okay. Now it says right over here for the gravel operation, they gotta have seismographic instruments are required during the entire duration of the operation.
Right.
So is that gonna pertain to every operation that somebody wants to do a gravel operation?
No, that's just for this one, because there's,
Because of the blasting that goes on.
Blasting
So
on
basically,
road,
that condition shouldn't be on there for gravel operation because somebody's gonna be misleading to that.
You're not reading the paper I gave you today, are you?
That's correct. And it was that was at their meeting. So what it makes it
What are you
sound,
reading, the minutes?
this is the change in the conditions that were put in there right here.
Oh, yeah, you're reading. the
Yeah, I'm
minutes.
reading that, yeah.
Right.
So basically that, you can't have that sitting down there 24/7 for 7 days a week. That would be impossible.
Well, not the seismographic instruments. You're not gonna, no, only when they're going to,
Well, it
To-
don't say that. It doesn't say that. That's misleading. They
Um,
should change that.
That should be changed, yeah.
Because what it's gonna do is if somebody's gonna get it, say, I want a gravel operation, they're gonna look at this and go, gee, I'm
oh,
not
no,
gonna,
that doesn't
I'm
apply
not.
to any other gravel
Yeah, but
operation.
that's not-
But it's
Part
gonna,
of the
it's gonna make,
No,
it's gonna make it a.
It's not
No, no,
Grammarly correct.
No,
You know, I'm just saying, I'm just being just a little bit correct, because to me, that would be impossible to do something like that. When they're blasting, I can see that. And as far as the blast, these are concerned, that should be considered with the quarry. A quarry operation and a gravel operation are two different things.
That's just, this gravel operation. That's not.
It's
in
not a
our
gravel
regulation.
operation, that's a quarry
what they
operation. It's two different things. Well, whoever applied for it did the wrong thing.
But we don't have anything to apply into the quarry.
Yes, you
it's all-
do. Yes, you do. When they were doing the blasting over there, we had to go through the.
Thank
you. I was
just wondering the same
Yeah, I wasn't here then.
It had nothing to do with it, but you know what? It might come down to a point it would be. I mean, I'm sorry I even asked the question,
No,
but it's gonna be a
no.
problematic down the road and we're gonna end up sitting here, we're gonna beat the band with it because somebody's gonna say, you're
No,
making this,
Brandon
do that,
Road
and I gotta
comes in
do it.
every year for the renewal of their gravel
That's
operation.
right. Well, then they should change it.
Well,
That's not a gravel operation, it's a quarry operation,
All right.
two different things.
I make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
You should second it.
What about Jake?
Meeting is adjourned. Who's second? Jason.
I can-
Jason and Ken second.
I can bring it up at the next zoning review.